Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first live You Hear Us podcast live show. Something like that.
Boom,
Boom.
boom, something like that.
Yeah,
Something like
game
that.
over. We're done now. With Duff and Steps, presented by PrizePicks, which is a daily fantasy sports app simplified. Absolutely easy for them to take you all of your money. If you're like me, I had Joe Burrow with the under today. That didn't happen. But if you use code You Hear Us when you first sign up, you will get 100% deposit match, and you can get in there. You throw $10 on it, you get an extra 10. You'll be at $20, and you can try to take all the money in the world from Prize Picks. I have kind of ran into a little bit of a funk on Prize Picks. I hit him a little bit at the end of last year. Haven't got a single win this year. Trent, have you got him for
No,
anything
man,
yet?
I'm in the same funk, man. I've even just stepped away from it for a second, just to kind of regroup my mind, to get back into it.
Just had to get your
I'm
psyche
gonna hit a
back a
hard
little
part.
bit.
I'm gonna hit a hard part tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah, we're gonna get in there. We're gonna get some basketball probably going tomorrow. I'll definitely tweet out my picks when I put them in, and we'll see how we go. But we need to get into what we saw in the NFL today, and I know we will get to our Chiefs, but I think the first thing we need to start off with is Antonio Brown. The first thing I heard was he just actually had to take a shit. So he was hurrying to the locker room, and a lot of people, my friend included Dakota, doesn't like to shit with his shirt on. So I do understand, like, if you don't want to take a shit and you take the pads off, but turns out that wasn't
I don't
it.
get naked. I don't get
Yeah,
naked.
exactly. There was a tweet that my buddy Gary actually sent me, and it showed me that it was of Antonio Brown actually, and he was running, or it was like another guy. Dude was butt naked, and he was running down a sidewalk and ran right into a car, like head first. And it was like Antonio Brown after the game, and I was like, all right, that is too much. You guys are clowning him now, kind of thing. First things first, if it is a mental thing, we hope he gets help first and foremost.
For sure.
But I don't know if it's much of that, as in he decided, like, he might have decided this a long time ago. I'm almost at the thinking of that Antonio decided he was doing this when he heard old Bruce Arians say we're going to look into maybe not bringing him back on the team when he had the fake vax card thing, kind of thing.
Right.
I think he's kind of had this planned. Maybe he was hoping he'd get a little bit more of receptions and yards and get his money, and then he would do it. But he ended up, right after he did it, he tried to Uber out. He couldn't Uber. The cops ended up taking him somewhere for him to go to get, where he wanted to be. But I mean, that's a mess. We've never seen that. I've never seen that in years of my life. I don't think we've ever seen it in the NFL.
I've never seen anything like that. But another thing to go along with that is, I have a feeling he was going to get his money regardless, because still have another week to play. So I don't know why he if one rumor was Bruce Arians said he was going to make his money. Dude, just keep your head on straight. You're going to get your money. You're going to get what he needed, one more touchdown, and a couple more yards, something like that. There's a good possibility. If he didn't get it this week, he's getting it next week.
Yeah. The only argument I had to that was if they can't make their if they can't get their if the game's already taken care of, they might not.
Yeah,
they might not be playing next week. I don't know. That could very well be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. But, I mean, that was only a few of the wild things that we saw this week. We also did see the Chiefs put up 28 in the first half and then decide not to score but a field goal in the second. I've had some time to kind of digress from it, get away from it, think about it for a little bit.
Guys, he was fired up.
I'm still pretty fired up. But we met at the studio before we came back home to do this live show, and we kind of decided that I just said, it's okay. I seen kind of how the players reacted, and they decided, like it's supposed to feel bad. So I think they get that all tightened up, and we go kind of from there. But I mean, man, watching that game today, I started talking to Chiefs Focus a little bit. They were getting ready to do their podcast, and they asked kind of like, what questions did you want answered on our podcast tonight? And I just said, hey, one, what is more to blame for this game? One, the officiating. Then this is no order in particular. One, the officiating. Two, Spags not making any adjustments in the game for how we are going to cover not even Jamar Chase, but any of their wide receivers. I mean, it was single coverage at will. I would be scared if I was another team to see how many yards Patrick Mahomes could throw if somebody just single covered us the whole game. But we're the teams we play, I guess, aren't dumb. They don't have dumb enough DCs to just not make any adjustments through the whole game. Three, um, do we blame Andy Reid or whoever was the decision that we were going to try to stop them on the goal line on the half-yard line like 5 consecutive times? I think that was kind of a dumb decision. We could have easily called one timeout, or maybe not even called any timeouts. Let them score. Literally kind of do the pick them up, put them in the end zone. Mm-hmm. You guys scored. That's okay. We have PM15. We're going to go back down the field and score. Or 49 was on the field still. After 17 weeks, he's still out there, and he doesn't know how to play safety. He doesn't know how to cover. I mean, like, I watched the one where he got toasted, where Jamar Chase, and obviously it looked like Fenton had him to a certain amount of yards.
That's the one and he took a terrible angle.
And then, yes, he took the worst angle I've ever seen in my life. But it looked like Fenton had him to a certain point. The ball was in the air, and Sorensen, I don't know if maybe he needs to get the Jameis Winston LASIK surgery or something, and he thought that ball was going to be short. But, like, the ball's in the air, and he took off towards the sideline, and Jamar Chase is like, dude, the ball's, like, maybe he was trying to freak out Jamar.
Wasn't close.
Because he caught the ball and just ran it in perfectly easily. I mean, it's just terrible to see.
I don't know, man. 49 is liability back there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to piggyback on your other point, do you let them score? It almost worked out in their favor to stop them. But as you said earlier, the guys in black and white stripes had other plans because you got the offsetting penalty, and they got to replay that down again. Would have had to stop because they stopped. No, they would have had to stop. But it was defensive holding. Mm-hmm. On the other side, where the play was
defensive holding on top. Which I saw.
It was back to back. It was back to back.
Defensive holding and offensive holding at the same time.
Truthfully, I saw it.
I saw it bad too, and I was like, but I called that when they asked, or they were kind of talking and saying, what are we going to do on what are the Bengals? What should the Bengals do here? And it looks like we're having technical difficulties on the YouTube side. The audio is terrible, so that's not good. But we might just have to go podcast on Zoom kind of thing. Colton says probably worse. That's not good. I can hear audio before and then again with camera. So maybe... Can you...
Yeah, I can still hear you.
anything. So maybe I'll do this. I'll hide this and do this. And this is the only stuff that you can test when you go live. So we'll try that, see if you can hear us now, kind of thing. for watching. Sorry for the 4 of you that are watching out there that we are trying to figure this out live.
Yeah, apologize.
But it will only get better from here, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Which sucks. That sucks that I thought we had it all.
Better quality for deaf. I don't even know what I can do on my end to make it better.
Probably worse. I can't see anything. I can't see the comments now. Pop out chat. There we go. Better quality for Duffy. Now I can hear better quality. So everything's good now, Colton, or no? Because if everything's good, we will get back into it. Make sure. Can still hear steps twice. What the fuzzies?
Oh, gosh.
I don't think it's your side. I think it's me.
Oh, okay.
Or I think it's somehow however we have this set up. Indie iSource, me. I wonder. Hold on.
I can still hear you. I'm trying to look at the YouTube feed myself on my other screen over here. And it's muted. It's muted. Yeah. Right.
It's once before he says it and then once with the camera, if that makes sense. So basically it's double.
It's one.
Talk now, Trent.
Can you hear me?
That's better for steps. Okay. So
All right.
Maybe I fixed it? Question mark. Let's see. We're a little bit behind on YouTube, so we can't see the comments on time. I can't hear it. You're good.
All right. I just want to turn TV away from me. Just to be safe.
Fair. Okay. Do that.
You disappeared on YouTube.
I did. Oh, I took my. Yeah, because I thought maybe I was causing it kind of thing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So we'll see if that works right there. If we're good there, then we will get after
He's gonna put. Gotcha.
Just gotta wait because we can't see quite everything at once. So
yeah.
Wait, not good. Son of a bitch.
Wait, not good. Colton, you're killing me.
Hey, can't kill the messenger. He said, "Oh shit."
No, thanks, buddy.
Messages held for review. Oh shit. Oh goodness. Oh shit. Here we go again.
Oh darn.
The delay is messing up. Definitely, absolutely is messing us up. Yes.
Yes. 100%.
That's why we need a studio. We'll get this figured out. ASAP.
Yeah. ASAP. Are you on Spaces right now too?
No, not on Spaces.
Just YouTube.
Just the Skype and the YouTube to get it all figured out. So this is going to be our trial run, but we'll keep rolling it after this. Tell people there won't be a podcast. There'll just be a live show. Figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Figure it out. Let me see. Oh, I can create a poll. Does Trent sound like crap? Ask your community.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Yeah, it just sends his audio through twice. It's still sending his audio through twice?
Can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Maybe that'll fix it.
What about now?
Well, I did something too. I really don't think it's on your end. I think it's just the way I have the OBS set up.
It might help. I just turned off my speakers. Like there's nothing coming through, but I don't know. I just try to mute everything.
Yeah.
And see if that helps.
Somebody put yes. All right. Well, this is like the Chiefs' defense. There was a 10-second period where it didn't. But is it still doing it now, or are we good? That's better. Mucho better? Okay.
Mucho better.
I think so. What I did is I turned off the NDI source for you because I bet somehow the pod track is getting you through that. And then, yeah, now we know.
Okay. All right.
Do you remember? We'll get back into some stuff. Mike's Super Short Show on Disney Channel. Did you ever remember hearing that?
That sounds real familiar.
It's like it's now you know because that's my Super Short Show. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what that reminded me of. Is now we know, and then I was like, quote that. That was like that's old school right there. All right, mucho better. Hopefully we are free and clear. And getting after it. Somebody answered the poll, and it's 50-50, so somebody said no, so it's all good. Only thing is camera behind audio can't fix, different day. Yeah, we'll roll on from that. Fuck that. Yeah. We'll do it live. Anyway, so back to, we were talking Chiefs. It got me all flustered. We're the second seed now.
Somewhat goal line stand.
Yeah.
And then they got all screwed up from the holding. Defensive holding calls.
Yeah. So they called the holding. They called offensive holding as well. But I tweeted before that. I was like, I know what's about to happen. It's going to, no matter what, like, I don't know why they never, even on the other times when they were trying to run it in, obviously they were trying to they were trying to run down clock because they knew once they went to passing, there was probably going to be a penalty because like I even knew it was going to happen when on the play that there was double holding and they brought the penalty back. When I saw that they kept Charvarius Ward out there on an island and didn't line anybody else up out there on Chase, I was like, well, there's only one thing that's going to happen. Chase is going to bring him in, and then he's going to be able to put but they weren't calling push-offs at all. There was a few times that Chase probably could have got away with it, and they're not going to call offensive pass interference in a big moment like that either. So, especially like Mike Evans is notorious for that. Like once you get inside the red zone, he's going to do what he wants to the defender and make them call it.
Oh yeah,
and that's the thing about where officiating is at now is you do it 6 times, they're probably only going to call it 5. So eventually they're just not going to call it, and you're going to have a chance. Like being a defender in the league right now is just there's no point. Like you should basically just be flag football. Let them catch the ball, then pull a flag. That's all it should be.
Right. Because they want scoring. They don't want pass deflections or anything like that. I mean, points.
Exactly.
Sell tickets and get media and all that stuff. It's the cycle. But yeah, like you said, it is tough being a D-back in the NFL.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, the thing that made it even worse was you go back and you kind of look, and they mentioned it on the broadcast, was that officiating crew was made the night before. They had to shuffle things around. And as an NFL, as an entity, a private entity, or as big as the NFL is, you cannot do that when playoff seeding's on the line, number 1 seed in the playoff is on the line, and then like, you know, if nothing like bad happened or anything went bad for the Chiefs, we might not be talking that. But if nothing goes bad in that game and everything happens and it's a decent officiating game, probably not that big of a deal. But you can't have all that and then have what was put on the field today from the officials and think that's okay as an NFL, as a billion-dollar company either. Like, not even just Chiefs fans. That's just terrible all around.
And another thing to add to that, like even in high school, like you officiate in crews, like you stick with the same guys throughout the whole season, because it is also a familiarity thing with within the people in your group. You know that, hey, I got this area, and I know what my guy is going to be looking for. So, I mean, it helps keep you comfortable during the game. But if you get a bunch of people just thrown together, like you don't know people's tendencies, I know that you got to be within the rules or whatnot, but it's still a level of familiarity with who you're working with to be comfortable to make those tough decisions that make sure they can back you up. So just everything being kind of helter-skelter, I feel like it was an uneven game, especially on the officiating side.
Yeah, and then you also heard Big Red say it, is that he he wanted to call out almost every single one of the penalties, but he doesn't want to get fined. At some point, that was my other biggest gripe, is that you could have this terrible officiating week in and week out, and guess who doesn't have to answer for it? The officials. That's probably the biggest gripe that I have. Not even in, like, I've griped about officiating in every game, not just the Chiefs game. Like, there was some on the Tampa Bay game we watched, with the Saints game. I mean, there were several that we've watched together or seen, and I'm just like, man, you can't do that as an official. And you kind of have an official hat. I used to do it just in a lower, minuscule way, but like, we were there to collect paychecks. They're getting paid good money. They don't have to, reap what they sow. Whatever they call, it's just like, hey, we called it. Sorry, moving on. I mean, it's just there needs to be something. The union for the officials has done great for them. They can look bad, but you don't have to talk about it. Like, people are going to say whatever you want. Like, yeah.
Media follow up. Like, coaches does something bad, they got to respond to the media. But the officials, they're within the group of officials. I think they're graded. But you'll never hear anything about what they're graded for or how they did. You'll never hear anything on that end. Now in the NBA, they have the last 2-minute report where it's actually, hey, these last 2 minutes you missed this call, you should have called this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my idea is, like, what about the other, how many minutes are in the game? I don't think the NFL will go to that where there is a report for like the last minute or last 5 minutes of a football game. They probably should, but I don't. It might look bad for the game for them to do that. I don't know. That's kind of one of those. Is just, you kind of got to just see what the public wants or what's best for the game of football. But I do think there should be some accountability for the refs. Even though I am a ref and I try to side with the refs, but sometimes some of the calls today I feel like were kind of egregious. But you just can't.
The horse collar call where his hand was on his shoulder the whole time, and then it does move to the back, but like,
that was huge.
Yeah, that got him within like 7 yards of the end zone. The pass interference,
that should have been reviewable.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the pass interference that they had on Fenton, was it Fenton? I think it ended up being on Fenton, where
Romo said that was a terrible call.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a announcer up there saying that, I don't know about that, Jim, even the holding that they called on the kick return, I didn't see a hold too much, as more of he was blocking him, got hit in his back, and then pushed the guy down with him. I mean, it was just a scrum right there. They called that back right at halftime. I mean, there was just several things that you're just like, what's going on, man, kind of thing. And on top of that, like, the biggest aspect of it all is I wish they would have flexed this game. This would have been a great game to flex into tonight.
Super entertaining.
And you know what? Yep. You know what wouldn't have happened? All those calls wouldn't have been made on live TV, because guess what? Then you have to answer the national media. Now, a 12 o'clock CBS game, guess what you have to answer to? You got to answer to
the regional area.
Yeah, Kansas City and all them. So, I mean, we can get into the officiating. We can get into the boneheaded play calling. We can get into, even though the defense has looked better, it's back to, Mahomes it seems like second year in the league, where the Bengals, I applaud them. They kind of did what the Chargers did when the Chargers first beat us. They're not giving you, they did what the Ravens did to us. They're not going to give us a chance to get the ball back. No. And they were one of those, like, all right, if it goes to over, like, if we somehow don't score here on the 6 yard or the 6.5 or the half-inch yard line, then we don't score. We'll go to overtime and play our chances there. Yep. And if he gets the ball first, we might be screwed. But you know what? We're not going to score, and then
we're not going to get beat by Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and
we're going to try to control everything.
That's something you would have thought a veteran coach would have saw when it was 1st and 10 with like a minute, or 1st and goal on the 1 yard line with like a minute 30 left. You would have been like, okay, well, we might stop them the first time, whatever. We'll make them think that we're going to try it. We'll call this timeout, but then we're going to let them score. We're going to make them score. Run somebody off the damn edge and just push them in from the back for all I care. I forgot what game it was, but basically they did pick him up, put him in the end zone, and then they went down and scored the next time. And that's like what I was thinking of what the Chiefs should have done. You have 2 timeouts, and you have PM15 that has showed you his second year in the league, and the way he was chopping up the defense, even when we weren't scoring in the second half. We were pushing the ball down the field.
Still moving the ball.
Yeah,
they weren't going to stop. They weren't going to stop Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense from scoring.
No.
Even if it was a field goal or touchdown, either one, they were going to get points. But I don't know. In that situation, like you said, you got to almost let them score just so you can get the ball back, plenty of time. You might have your one timeout, might not, but at least give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
But I still, and I'm not going to fault Andy Reid, I still feel like the refs took it out of the players' hands.
So you're saying it's more of an official thing than it was?
Sad to say, being official, I still think it's more of an official thing.
Yeah, and you never want to blame officials, but here we are. I mean, you gotta give credit where credit's due, and you gotta take it from when it's terrible.
But you also, I know the officials might have something to do with this, but you also can't give up 266 and 3 tuds either.
That is very true. You cannot do that.
You can't do that
to just one wide receiver. I mean, I remember saying something last night about the Ohio State wide receiver. I was like, man,
he's 350 or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, he's putting up quarterback numbers at a wide receiver position. Well, sure as shit, so did Jamar Chase in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that couldn't see the football in the preseason, everybody was like, oh, this isn't good. You drafted him in front of everybody else. Turns out, probably rookie of the year.
Oh yeah.
Some other news.
I see why the Bengals drafted him.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need an offensive line if you just throw it up to him, kind of thing.
Screw Joe Burrow's life. We're gonna get Jamar Chase, and he can fend for his life later.
Exactly. Yep. But no. Moving on to kind of some other big time games that we watched today. You know, there was some kind of duds that we were like, all right, that doesn't matter. Like the Giants Bears game. Me and Colton on the pregame show talked about that. That was kind of like, why is it even on TV kind of thing? This isn't like, that's where the Packers and I forget who they play next week. That's what that game's going to be like. It's going to, the Lions. It's going to be Tim Boyle versus Jordan Love. Like, no point in putting that on it. None of that matters.
Absolutely. I won't be watching this.
No, I won't be watching it at all. But the reason that Jordan Love will be in the game next week is because the Green Bay Packers did what the Chiefs were trying to do, and that was win and have first place in the division, first place in the conference, everything like that. So now Green Bay with a broken Aaron Rodgers, COVID toe, maybe not COVID toe, fractured toe, who knows, gets 2 weeks off before they have to even play another game again. They get week 18, obviously, and he gets the built-in bye that only the number 1 seed gets in said conference, and that's what Green Bay has. Sounds like Bartiari, the offensive lineman, should be back probably by then. Cobb should be back. I mean, they should be getting healthy. It'll be a good run for Green Bay, but a lot of time.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. There's a lot of teams over there. You know, another game we can talk about is Matthew Stafford broken. I mean,
dude, I sent you a text. Yeah. I mean, he is trash right now.
It's not good.
I mean, granted, he threw a big throw to Odell Beckham here towards the end of that game, or actually his game-winning touchdown.
Yes.
But it's more like, did Stafford make a great read and make a great throw, or did OBJ just turn into OBJ and just say, like, let's put the ball somewhere around me, and I'm going to do what I do and put you in the end zone? Like, I put it this way: Stafford at the beginning of the year and Stafford now is not the same quarterback.
Yeah, no, it's almost like it's like a rookie wall, almost is what it looks like for maybe a free agent, or not a free agent, but for a quarterback in a new position. That's what it looks like, is that it's almost just caught up with them that we're playing an extra week. We have an extra game. I'm in a different environment. I don't like being in this position where we're supposed to be good. Like, I can be bad on a bad team and I don't have to worry about the repercussions. Like, now you're good, so if you have a bad game on a great team or a good team or a team that has aspirations to make it to the Super Bowl, you got a lot of more people arguing with you, getting mad at you, stuff like that. What is it? 5? I think it's 5 interceptions in the last 2 games now for him. So, I mean, that's terrible. That is,
you can't have it.
I don't even know if Mahomes had that streak this year when he was broken. No. You can't have that when you're going to be a Super Bowl favorite. No. At any time in the season, and
especially late now. This is nut up or shut up time. Like, you can't throw 3 picks against the Cowboys, Cardinals, Bucks. Definitely not the Packers. Like, this, those are the teams you're going to be seeing. Like, you can't be turning the ball over like that if you want a chance to win. It ain't going to fly.
Yeah, and this is the same defense basically that you faced today that Joe Burrow threw for 525 and 5 tutties or 4 tutties on last week.
Stupid.
Like,
yeah,
this should have been your mini get right game after your abysmal 3-interception game, and it wasn't. Like, there's more questions now for the Rams than there was 2 weeks ago, when they were winning games and he wasn't throwing picks. Because now it's like, all right, well, do we have to do the Carson Wentz feel for him and just hope Sony Michel can just keep breaking off runs because he's been a really good back for him?
Yeah.
Or
now,
what do you do?
Let me ask you this. Does that change how Sean McVay is going to call games here down the stretch? The playoffs, like, does he lose trust in Matt Stafford? Like, so do I try to run, like you said, run the ball more, or try to just make everybody else around Matt Stafford step up? Because do you trust him down the stretch? Like, all right, I need a big throw out of him. Do you still run the ball, punt, rely on your defense, or what? I mean, it puts you in a tough position, and I just don't know if Stafford can step up to the task of being that guy, because he's got to be that guy if you want to make it to the ship.
Yeah, I mean, that's a difficult one to answer. I don't know. I don't think Sean McVay's in a very happy place. He at the beginning they were in Cabo or whatever together. They got rid of Goff. That was what was holding this team back from being in multiple Super Bowls. You got the gunslinger. You got the Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford. Everybody was talking about the no look. I mean, everything, and you can't seem to reel it in. He's throwing these picks. Like, these are bad throws too. And you have.
I just feel like you're no better off with Jared Goff or Matt Stafford.
You're the same.
Like,
you're the same thing now. Same boat. It looks like.
Yeah.
And you have a triple crown wide receiver on your team, and you look that like, I don't know. It like maybe not having the one that got hurt. Robert Woods. Maybe not having Robert Woods is turning out to be like that was his safety blanket kind of thing. He just had more trust, or he knew where to put the ball, and he doesn't quite have that anymore. But it's not like OBJ is not balling out for them.
He's playing well.
The Rams are probably not okay with not limping in, but they're not okay with how they are going into the playoffs here. But then we also have the Chargers took care of the Broncos today, and this game was kind of a bland game, even though the Chargers got the revenge. But that sets up I did just get a tweet that is actually being flexed from. That's going to be the Sunday night game next week, because that's a win if you're in Chargers versus Raiders.
Okay.
If the Raiders somehow win after
originally the Sunday night game.
I don't know. I don't think it was a game that really.
I would like to look, but my computer mouse is messing up. Yeah. It's driving me nuts.
Chargers and Raiders to play on Sunday Night Football. Chiefs, Broncos, and Cowboys, Eagles to play in Saturday double header is what I got there.
Okay.
So Chiefs, Broncos. I mean, I guess if we lose, do we go down to like a third seed or something? But I don't know the significance of that game. The Broncos are out
right now. Yeah, right now we are for sure second, right?
Yeah. If the Titans somehow get upset by the Texans, I think we might get in there.
Remember when the Dolphins did it for us? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago. It was the first the year that before Brady left. So it was that year.
Gotcha.
Because then King Henry went into New England and took care of business there. Ran all over him and had Tom on his way out the door. But the crazy thing is, so the Titans and us are tied, correct, with losses right now?
Yep.
So we win, they lose. That's how we would get the first place. And I guess maybe it's a benefit that we play on Saturday, because then we can sit there and watch the game. I don't know too much how much – there's not much difference in Nashville and Kansas City to me. Granted, it's your fans. But we've lost some games in Arrowhead this year that we shouldn't have lost. We lost to the Ravens at home, I'm pretty sure, didn't we? I want to say we lost to the Ravens at home.
Yeah.
We lost to Tennessee at Tennessee.
I don't know if the Ravens were at home.
No, we lost to the Chargers at home. We lost to the Chargers at home, and we beat them there, which is our home away from home. I really want the Raiders to get in as the 7th seed, and maybe we somehow get the 1st seed. Then we get to play the Raiders at home, and we just get like, you never want to play a team 3 times, but I'll play the Raiders 3 times. I'd love to smack that ass one more time and just send them on home, like Antonio Brown. Somebody saying that he was just a crybaby today, and like I was like, well, maybe somebody get that man some milk or something, kind of thing.
Right? Hey, is he gonna be in the waiver wire? Chiefs gonna pick him up?
Hey, I mentioned it. I said, like, I guess somebody on my Twitter reached out and they were like, he's retweeting a lot of Rams things right now. And then I was like,
Dude, it could be a genius move.
It could be like, and I did say that, I was kind of being facetious and messing around, but I did say, I was like somebody listed off all the places where Antonio Brown didn't work out. I said, thanks for listing those all off. I said, there was only one team that he regretted getting kicked off from, and that was the Patriots that year. I said, besides that, he didn't want to be there. And my favorite tweet, I am so mad it didn't blow up. It was the Bleacher Report. I got the thing on my phone, and it says that Bruce Arians said Antonio Brown is no longer on the team. I said, this is the employee says I quit moment before the boss tells you you're fired. I was like, I think Antonio Brown already decided I'm not on the Tampa Bay team anymore. Like F you guys. And I'm like, how does that not blow up? I was like, that was my favorite tweet. I was like, this is going to gain so much traction. And then nothing. It was one of them that didn't even get like a retweet, a like, or anything. I was like, damn, that was the gotcha moment right there.
Yeah.
Another favorite one that I saw, I wish I could have pulled it up on our live show. The Impractical Jokers, I don't know if you've ever watched that show, but Joe Gatto's on that show. Him and his wife are getting a divorce. Apologize for that. That sucks. But he's leaving the show to kind of help figure out his life, figure out what he's going to do now that his wife's gone. But it shows it shows the other 3 laughing, and it says, and now tell them that you're quitting mid-game or whatever. And I said, sources close to me says AB's next move is actually being Joe Gatto's replacement on Impractical Jokers. And I mean, so that was one of the funny ones that I had as well. Did enjoy that one, but that story's crazy. But maybe he's out here playing chess instead of checkers. He wants to go somewhere. The biggest thing is like Bruce Arians said, he's no longer a buck. So I don't think you can kind of just hold him on the team, and like I think you have to cut him. So if you cut him, he has to go to waivers. Like, I don't think you can just hold him on the team without pay. Like, if he's not hurt, it's kind of like the OBJ thing. If he's not hurt, you can't just hold him out kind of thing. So unless, like, he agrees to mental health or something like that, there's nothing that's going to happen. I mean, you're just going to have to do what you have to do. But 49ers, I really did pick the Texans. I thought the Texans were going to upset him. I thought old Davis Mills, or a.k.a. Dougie Mills, was going to take –
long neck.
Yeah, I thought he was going to show out. Like, hey, maybe give me a couple votes for this Rookie of the Year award. But another game I didn't call. I thought that was going to be an upset. A game I did call. I didn't check. I didn't get our tweet out there of our picks today, and I don't remember. I think you picked the Cowboys, but
I did pick the boys.
Yeah, I picked the Cardinals. I was like, this is the game. Cardinals are going to be back. The Cowboys got there. Everything's going good again. I was like, this game was a perfect Cowboys meltdown. It happens all the time for the Cowboys, and actually a good stat that Colton gave me in our pregame show was the Cowboys, any team that has 10 wins now, or obviously is just basically a good team, they have not beat this year. So they've been picking on the bottom dwellers of all these divisions. That's how they got a good record, because they didn't win the division last year. So they haven't beat a playoff team. So you kind of tell me what you think about the Cardinals-Cowboys game. I don't know if you watched too much. I'm sure you did. It was America's Game of the Week. It was
America's Game of the Week.
It was on Red Zone and the damn Fox the whole time. Like, I couldn't watch anything else. It was even on the red. I had to go on my Sunday ticket and just pick a game, the 49ers game, because all it was showing was Cowboys. I was so irritated.
No, I'm not going to lie, I saw bits and pieces. But one thing I wanted to add to that, also Kyler Murray's undefeated at Jerry World.
Yeah.
His 4 years of high school, the state championship, never lost. Any other time he's played there, he's never lost. But the Cardinals did, like you said, it was a bounce back game for them. They did what they needed to do to kind of get out of that funk. I did see Kyler Murray's body language was a lot better during this game.
Tends to be when you're winning, but
yeah, yeah. No, but this did show me something like Colton, the stat Colton gave you. Like, the Cowboys haven't really beat, and we've had this discussion before. They haven't beat any good teams. They just beat just middle of the road and crappy teams. So this is a time of year where you have nothing but good teams to play, and you got to figure it out. And I don't know. They have to. What frustrates me is they have the firepower to do so, but it's just never any situation never step up to the call to do it.
Yeah, it's just like it's the normal Cowboys fashion that we're gonna let you think that we're gonna be good, and then we're just not gonna be good. They did going back to refs of any game. I was talking to a Cowboys fan, Jared, on Twitter, and the refs missed a fumble by Chase Edmonds there at the end of the game that could have gave him the ball back and a chance to get in the clear and get after it and maybe chance to score. They were gaining the momentum. Does suck that in this game our third wide receiver, our Gallup, tore his ACL. It's confirmed. Another injury that we didn't bring up earlier in the Chiefs. Yeah, Louis Niang, also patellar tendon. I don't know where that's at. Is that in your leg, your foot?
Yeah.
Ripped that, I guess. Torn patellar tendon. So he's probably out. But that was another kind of interesting thing in the Chiefs game before we get back to that is that Orlando Brown just got hurt kind of in pregame warmups. Thank God it wasn't our kicker. But, yeah, hopefully he's okay. Yeah. But Kyle Long, where's he at? I mean, he's had a broken leg in August. And I tweeted out, and he's came off the PUP list, so maybe he's not back yet. But I thought, like, broken legs or what? I mean, it wasn't the biggest bone in his body, so I thought that was like a 6 month, not even a 6 month. I thought it was like a 6 week, and you're kind of good. Shit, that would have brought you back in like November. It's January, first week in January. I think you should be.
The only thing I can think of is he didn't like travel with the team this week. I don't know if that would have shown up on the report or anything like that.
Maybe, but you would
just
think
because you think you have enough. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm searching the interwebs.
Yeah, it got real thin. I mean, after they were talking about how deep they were this year at linemen, it got real thin. But even, I mean, with Niang going down and Brown out, and I thought our offensive line held up pretty good. But the Cardinals' offensive line held up really good against the Cowboys. That vaunted defense. I mean.
Right.
Diggs,
I didn't even see that Micah Parsons get a sack today.
I don't know if he did or not. I think Lawrence was kind of being more of the menace. I think they somehow figured it out to get Micah Parsons out in the flats more and making him kind of coverage. But to me, the biggest trade deadline move besides Melvin Ingram, and I don't even know if Melvin Ingram helped our team that much, is Zach Ertz to the Cardinals. That guy is just after the Cardinals tight end went down, he was having a great season, but like. Anytime they needed a third or whatever or a completed pass, Zach Ertz was the one making the moves to the Cardinals, and you're almost like, man, where would the Eagles be if they just would have ran? If they now that they're running the football, if they just ran double tight,
right?
And
and he's a huge safety blanket for you.
Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable how good he still is at his age too. Mm-hmm. I mean he keeps on. If he continues this, he could be. I mean he might win the tight end award this year. I'm not for sure, but. He had a good game. Cardinals took care of business, kind of got him back right there. They both are walking out of this game 11-5. So that kind of opens up the door in the NFC. Obviously the Packers are number one.
They're
seed, there, but there can be a lot of shuffling going there. The good thing and the smart thing about the NFC is Cowboys are a dome, Cardinals are a dome, 49ers are out in Cali. Like, all the good teams now, are okay. Like, the Raiders are good on the AFC side, but, like, the Bengals, if you have to go play the Bengals, that's cold. The Chiefs is cold. The Tennessee's pretty cold for the most part. I mean, the NFC's doing it right that even though they let Lambeau be the number one team, like, Tampa Bay's warm. All these places that you would have to go play if somehow the Packers get knocked out are warm areas. Like, that's why I was almost like, okay, even watching Rodgers tonight, I was like, maybe he would rather just go play in a dome somewhere and enjoy just balling out kind of thing.
Dude, I don't know why you would want to play. Like, I get it, Lambeau Field, your home field advantage, but who wants to play in snowy weather, negative temperatures, play some damn football? Mm-hmm. Especially as a quarterback, man. That's the worst, is being having your hands old-ass cold trying to grip the football. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
They'll put me in a dome and let me sling it.
Exactly. Let me get after it. Let me throw for 500 or whatever. I mean, Joe Burrow's doing it out in the cold, so maybe why not him?
Well, shoot.
Yeah. Moving on to some other.
I think we had a little bit of helping with that one because we couldn't get out of our damn press man.
Yeah. That's That's the Spag special.
Uh,
Not what you
telling
want
you.
to hear or say.
No.
But moving on to the other game that I watched and I kind of had some rooting interest in was Matt Rule would fail, and he did. Darnold did not have a great stat line. It's maybe I was too bad on or too mean to Darnold. Maybe Darnold's not a terrible quarterback. Maybe it is just the full I'm full head coach now. I'm full fire head coaches mode. Matt Nagy, Joe Judge, Matt Rule, get them out. Like their key cards should be revoked. Matt Rule more of the fact because you didn't think Teddy was it, or you didn't think Cam was going to be it, so you moved on from Cam to get Teddy. You didn't think Teddy could do it, so you went on and got Darnold. Found out Darnold wasn't it after Christian McCaffrey ran out, so you went back and got Cam, and you ruined that dude just having a good time. I mean, just let the dude it's like a lot like Eli Manning. You knew it was his last year, and then Joe Judge it wasn't Joe Judge, it was dipshit, old slick back hair. God dang it. Was it Brian? What was his name? McAdoo. Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo's dumbass.
It has been. Yeah,
broke Eli Manning's start streak.
Yep.
And then didn't even play the quarterback the whole game because he was ass too. And it's like, what are we doing? There's certain things you let happen. You're paying Cam Newton $10 million. Just let him play out the year. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. The Panthers owner even came out and said that he's having buyer's remorse of signing Matt Rule to a 7-year contract. That came out this week. So,
wow, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So I mean, I tweeted it, but I'm getting anything I get under some skin. I'm getting after it, kind of thing. But I mean, that was after his comments about Jay-Z. Well, it took Jay-Z 7 years to make a hit. I'm not gonna change it all in 1 year. Well, you've had going on 3 years now, and 4 different quarterbacks. What kind of leash do you think you get as an NFL quarterback? Again, I'll bring that up. You don't have a leash. As an NFL head coach, you have to be showing improvement, and that's the three things that those three coaches I mentioned, Joe Judge, Matt Nagy, and Matt Rule, have not shown. Joe Judge has not shown any improvement. Matt Nagy's been up, and they're shoom right down.
Yeah.
Starting Andy Dalton over Big Dick Nick this week, I was ready to fire him before the game even started when I found out Andy Dalton was playing. I was like, why are we not starting old BDN? I mean, the dude's a baller for you. He just must hate him. So I'm glad the Saints took care of business. Looks like they might have a chance to get into the playoffs as well, so that's good. That'll be a big game.
Sure.
I'm going to pull up the playoff brackets because as of now,
I got them on my phone. I was just going to try to pull them up here.
Yeah. Standings.
NFL playoff picture.
Yeah. Playoffs. Because as of now, we got Tennessee, Kansas City, Cincy, Buffalo, and New England all in. 6-7 are still up for grabs. So Indy, I don't know who Indy plays. Do we know who Indy plays?
I don't know who Indy plays. Give me a second. I can find out.
So somehow Miami is eliminated, but Baltimore is not eliminated. That doesn't make any sense to me because Miami's actually 10th and Baltimore's 11.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll probably depend.
Oh.
That's going to depend
Colts
on the Pitt game.
Do
what?
Colts are at Jaguars.
Okay, so they're 6th seed most likely.
Yep.
So really that Chargers Las Vegas game is going to be the big game. Now, actually, I say that, but Pitt wins tiebreaker over Miami based on best win percentage in conference game. Division tie was initially used to eliminate Baltimore. Pittsburgh wins tiebreaker over Baltimore based on head-to-head win percentage. So Baltimore still, I guess, has a puncher's chance if Cleveland beats Pitt. Pitt still somehow has a chance for the fact
they beat Cleveland.
Well, so they have to beat Cleveland. That'd make them 8-7, and then I would assume Indy and the Chargers or one or the other would have to Indy would have to lose. I think that's the only way Pitt can get in because whoever the Vegas Chargers, whoever wins that game is going to be in because one of them will be 10-7, the other one will be 9-8. Pitt will either be 8-7-1 after tomorrow or 7-8-1, and the best record they could have is 8-8-1. So I don't know how they're not eliminated. Maybe it just if they lose tomorrow, they're done kind of thing. The tie, I guess.
If it's one of those, like if the Chargers and the Raiders tie and they win a game, then somehow they get in. I don't know, something crazy.
Oh, like something
that.
dumb, like all the teams have to tie, and then you're going to get in due to tiebreaker or something like that on the NFC side. Yeah, let's not hope that.
Because you tied, I don't know.
Yeah. But then on the NFC side, we got Green Bay already locked up everything. The Rams clinched X. Let's see, playoff berth. Is that what the X is? Clinched playoff berth, yeah. And they, as of right now, are the number 2 seed. Then you got Tampa at the 3, Dallas at the 4, Arizona at 5, San Fran in at 9 and 7 with Trey Lance looking, okay. He did something. Kittle only had 1 reception for 23 yards. I still won my fantasy, thank God, for AJ.
That was huge for me because I was playing against Kittle today. And he didn't do anything.
That's good because I won, you won, we all win. Perfect. Yeah. And then we do have Philadelphia, no matter what, is a playoff berth. They are in. So congratulations to Coach Sirianni for getting in. Proud of you. Didn't think that was coming.
The Eagles. Are you the one that sent me the message or the tweet about the bleachers falling down?
Yeah, I said, Jalen Hurts is good when not even Washington's old-ass stadium can take him out. I mean, it was awesome to watch. Like, those fans fell down. They were, like, trying to get pictures with them and everything, and then finally the security's like, wait, we got to, like, you guys got to go. Yeah, like, let him go. But he was cool. He was helping them all.
The dude was wearing a helmet?
Yes.
One of the players was wearing a helmet. Yeah. Or one of the fans was wearing a helmet.
Yeah, and, like, Jalen, like, patted him on the back, like, really hard. Like, I thought maybe he thought he was a player for a second. That dude was just so excited that
who let this fan in with a helmet?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm those fans, I'm not just sitting right there. I'm standing back up, and I'm just going to start kind of walking around on the field. Like, what are you going to do? Like,
oh, yeah, sneak out there.
Yeah, just see if I can't go get some merch real quick or a ball or a helmet or something.
Hey, okay. Have you ever seen the video, speaking of that, have you ever seen the video of this dude sitting courtside at a Pelicans game? He actually has on a full Pelicans like warm up.
Yes.
Like he got.
And he looks like was it Zion? Does he look like Zion? Or who's he look like?
Yeah.
But he's out there and he's like calling for the ball and he kind of takes a few shots and everything.
Got a shot up.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, those are the things I kind of live for. It's hilarious. But back to that, New Orleans is the 8th seed, so right now San Fran, so maybe New Orleans will be able to bounce up to the or Philadelphia will be able to bounce up to the 6th seed if New Orleans loses, San Francisco loses, and Philly wins. That would make them 10 and 7. San Francisco obviously 9 and 8, and then it kind of really falls on what New Orleans does. New Orleans plays. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Let me research that. Scroll down. They are going to play the Falcons, so you would assume Matty Ice ain't going to do anything, so that might be a win for them. So I feel like it's going to be the San Francisco's probably playing the Cardinals or somebody. They're playing the Rams. So the good news for, I guess, the NFC is that the Rams are in, but they haven't locked up the 2 seed, so they're going to be playing for that. So there's a good chance that New Orleans could sneak in there. And, hey, let's see. New Orleans would be probably the 7th seed. So, damn, that sucks. I really want New Orleans to sneak in there and have to play Tampa Bay week 1 in the playoffs. That's what I was trying to think of.
New Orleans.
Yeah, but it looks like 2 would obviously play 7, and that would be New Orleans. So,
I want the Bucks to get eliminated quickly, but then again, I almost want the Bucks to make it to the Super Bowl and the Chiefs get there and beat their ass.
That would be great. That would be great as Chiefs fans of what happened last time. But I almost want the Bucks to. I almost want the Bucks to lose week 1 in the playoffs for like. I mean, Mike Evans has a terrible game. Balls are bouncing off. Gronk doesn't have I want all the wide receivers to be bad because I just want to see the pettiness of what Antonio Brown might say to him. I mean,
oh, dude, it could be an all-timer for that one.
Bruce Arians really rubbed me the wrong way just in the all-start of it. Like, Tom went down there because there was a good team, obviously, for him to go to.
Mm-hmm.
He said who he wants. He was kind of getting that option. He wanted Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown and him got, good. I think it's one of those that...
He lived with him. Antonio Brown lived with Tom Brady.
I think it's one of those. Bruce Arians is, that hard-nosed coach. He's been around the league forever. He's not going to sit there. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got benched or, reports were he benched him, like, Antonio benched himself or whatever. I'm on the side of Bruce Arians is petty as fuck, and he benched Antonio knowing that he was that close. 5 receptions. What was it? Yeah, 5 receptions 59 yards or something like that, and a touchdown is all he needed.
Yeah,
easily could have done that in the last, even a quarter, or even one play. He could easily had it, and it's one of those maybe he wasn't going to not play him next week, because they could still obviously get second seed if the Rams happen to lose, stuff like that. So maybe he would play, but he was going to make a example out of him by not playing him the rest of the game, kind of thing. And Antonio Brown, he is a playmaker, but his mental, that is, you don't make an example out of that player.
No, not that dude.
Yeah, because he is going to blow up like that. And
you're talking to a dude who refused to play because he couldn't get a helmet that was 7 years old.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was ready to walk away from the game then, and you're gonna try to make an example out of him like nobody's bigger than the team. There's certain people that you just don't do that, and another thing is you don't do that to the quarterback's best friend. I kind of watched what Tom had to say, and it almost looked like he was telling AB he needed some help, but you could tell Tom was kind of hurt that he was gonna not be there anymore.
Yeah,
and maybe Tom doesn't care about him too much. But Tom understands what kind of athlete he is and how he uses him. I mean, that's what I was kind of going back and forth with the guy the whole time, and they were showing me all these stats and all this stuff, and I said, yeah, but at the end of the day, guess what? Antonio Brown won a Super Bowl last year, so he doesn't give a shit about anything else that happened with all those other teams. The guy was a Green Bay Packers fan, and I want to say Antonio Brown has the same amount of Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers does now, and he's played in 2. So I mean, at the end of the day, what's wrong with Antonio Brown? He's obviously, he got to where he wanted to be in Tampa Bay. Obviously, the coaching is starting to get under his skin a little bit. Maybe he was wanting the ball more. There is reports that Bruce Arians led teams or Bruce Arians led OCs and stuff like that. They have phased out people, running backs that were close to getting their yards for bonuses. Victor Cruz is
messed up.
Victor Cruz is a big one. He was a few receptions or something like that away. They phased him out so he couldn't get his money when he was with New York. There's so many things like that happens probably a lot in the NFL. And
that's crazy.
And Tampa Bay is one of those franchises that before Tom Brady, they weren't, a very likable or a very good, a poorly ran franchise. So let's not forget that either.
True.
At the end of the day, some of those bonuses and all that extra money, that the sign-on bonuses, that comes out of the owner's pockets. So it very well could have been hey, Bruce, listen, we can't be paying him anymore. He's already a nuance to this team. Let's not.
He don't need any more money.
We're not going to give him we're not going to give him a half a mil again on top of his 3.1. And that would piss me off. That was my biggest thing is you just don't mess with the dude and his money. I don't care if he's a terrible person. If that's somebody's way of getting money, and he's only making $3.1 million, and Antonio Brown's probably a $8 to $10 million wide receiver, even with the problems. You don't mess with this other $500,000 that he needs to probably come because he's probably broke. He's got to pay off that damn chef that he never paid off that punked him on his fake Vax card. I mean, it's just that's going to be interesting in the upcoming days. What happens, what's said, and if he really needs help or he's just hey, I'm chilling. I decided this. I'm out. I don't give a shit about anything anymore. He seemed to be doing okay when he left the league the first time when he got kicked off and he was still trying to get with the Patriots. The dude's still got an 8-pack. I don't think he's too worried about a whole lot of anything. I don't know. No. I don't know if I want to see him on the streets. He kind of seems like he is kind of mental, but he might be fighting Jake Paul in a couple years. Who knows what's going on? I mean,
he ain't worried about anything. Speaking of that, this could all be a publicity stunt. He could be fighting Jake Paul here in the next 3-4 months.
I did see a tweet that was did Le'Veon Bell come to the Bucks and give Antonio Brown his crazy pills again that he had in Pittsburgh? And I mentioned, I said maybe Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell don't get along, and he's like, all right, Le'Veon Bell's about to come back. I ain't putting up with his shit anymore. I'm gone.
Right.
Tone Diggs, obviously a friend of not a friend of the show. I wish, but a person we know, a person that's retweeted me, a person that's tweeted me, kind of stuff like that. A guy that I would want to hope one day I can call a friend. He just had a heyday
with everything he was saying about Antonio Brown. I mean, just hilarious. I got pictures of it. I'll read some of them off. One of them was that it was an imposter. There's no the Antonio Brown I know wouldn't act like this kind of thing, being very facetious. Yeah, he said that doesn't seem like something AB would do. Can't be him. Do we think Lev Bell slips AB crazy pills and that's been the issue the whole time? Does AB suit up for Ben's last ride tomorrow night with the Steelers? That was another question.
That's the one
that would have been hilarious. Like he just pops out of there out of nowhere. AB, a guy who takes his shirt off when he has to go poop. Been there, completely understand. That was the one that it was like new year, new me, no blacking out in 2022, and then it shows one day into 2022, and it's it's him running off the field. I mean, there's plenty to talk about there. I mean, I'm trying to think of any more games that we can talk about before we get out of here that weren't just nothing that really mattered. Dolphins obviously are fully eliminated. I saw it coming, called that. Titans, I knew that they were going to take care of business. Our boy Gary Floyd did say that the Dolphins would win 20-17. I texted him when it was 17-3. Titans, I said, hey, Titans can't score any more points. Dolphins are going to have to score 17 unanswered. And he goes, the Dolphins are who I thought they were, is what he sent back. And I was like, all right, yep. The Patriots, that was on the pregame show that I said this is going to be a great game for the Patriots to get back in it. They're going to let Matt cook. He threw for everything. They put up 50 again. That was a spread. I was like, hammer that spread if you can gamble. That's 14 points. I think it was 14 or 17. A spread that I also said to hammer was Buccaneers over Jets. That turned out to obviously be a little bit crazier than just the spread.
Whoever would have thought that the Jets would decide to play some football?
Maybe Zach Wilson's the best one out of the draft now.
Oh, could be.
Let's just look at his stats real quick. Zach Wilson had 234 and a touchdown. He didn't have any interceptions. At one point, he had one touchdown.
What did Trevor Lawrence do?
Let's just look at
he was god awful.
Let's look at old T-Dog and what he did today. Trevor Lawrence, they scored 10 points. I bet he probably didn't even score the touchdown. James Robinson, I'm sure. No, James Robinson's hurt. He did throw a touchdown, but he also threw a lot of fuckets and had 3 interceptions on the day.
A lot of fuckets.
But, Mac Jones, got to throw the ball.
Down there somewhere.
Got to throw the ball 30 times, 227, 3 touchdowns. Great to see that Stevenson and Williams both played, and Stevenson decided to have a Stevenson game and have 107 yards on the for opening day of fantasy playoffs. He couldn't have 107 yards. He had like 30. So
Damon Harris went down. That's why Stevenson got all those rushing yards, and Damon Harris scored today.
Damon Harris is like
he scored a touchdown and said, "Fuck, I'm done for the rest of the afternoon."
He did that in the other game too. I forgot what was that, the Steelers game. He scored a touchdown and said, "I'm done." No, Damian Harris had 2 tutties.
That's right.
35 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like I'm gonna look at his stats because I had him on my fantasy. There was plenty of games that he had 2 touchdowns in.
Yeah.
And there was even a couple games he fumbled the ball right on the goal line. Let's see.
Right. Yeah.
In his last 5 games, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, 0 in Atlanta. They won 25-0. So I mean, he's position ranked 18, but man, he was a good one to have on the fantasy.
Yeah, I'm on my fantasy team, and then he's the reason I didn't win one of my other leagues because my dumb ass forgot to put him in.
Well, to be fair, I had the team that should have won. I had Stafford as my quarterback. I should have won the playoffs this year, but Stafford is my quarterback. Not bad. I got him like round 7, like second to last round of the fantasy. I had Derrick Henry as number 1, Najee Harris is number 2, Damian Harris is number 3, and I picked up Stevenson a little bit later on in the year. On in the year to have on my bench. I had Michael Pittman, which was nothing amazing, but he was doing it there for a while before Wentz decided he couldn't throw the ball more than 5 times a game. It seemed like.
Yeah.
Pittman was doing it, and then I had who was my other? Keenan Allen, Mr. 10 receptions, 100 yards. Like I had a stacked team. I had Logan Thomas as my tight end, but then he went down. I picked up Freiermuth, who was having a decent. And then I picked Freiermuth. And then I had McPherson and Butker. I ended up dropping Butker because McPherson was just out there kicking stupid ass distances and making them. And either the Cardinals or the Rams defense. So I mean, I had a good team. until Henry went down, and then I was like, well, shit, like, because I was trying to make a trade. Like, I had Najee and Damian. I was trying to trade one of them at one point. I'm glad I didn't, but it ended up I should have traded Najee's dumbass. Not dumbass. I apologize. Fantasy gets the best of me. Should have traded Najee's ass because came first week of playoffs, he had a 20-yard. Oh, and I had Austin Eckler. Forgot about that guy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember telling me that.
So my team was absolutely stacked. Turned out wasn't stacked.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the last 3 weeks, I picked up Joe Burrow because I got tired of Baker Mayfield was hurt and Wentz was too up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked out for the best. Joe Burrow damn near won me a championship by himself, him and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I ended up winning $20 back in my Dynasty League with Tony Pollard and A.J. Dillon as my running backs because it's a 14-man deep league. That's how it's crazy.
What you got to do.
Yeah. Actually, I had on my taxi squad, which you can put a player that's 1 to 3 years into the league, you can put them on a taxi squad and kind of hold them as extra spots.
Mm-hmm.
I had Jarrett Patterson, the Washington running back today, on my bench. He dropped 20 points. I didn't know he was going to be in. Yeah, so it sucks. Oh, and to get second place, which it turns or third place, I would have got first place. Last week, I lost by 0.24 to get to the championship.
Oh, that'll make you quit fantasy football.
Should have. I lost 84.18 to 84.39. So I lied. 2-1. 0.21. Yeah.
Super salty.
Yep. Cole Beasley was out. I had Josh Gordon. He got absolutely 0 points for me last week. Like, if he would have done the 1-for-1 with 5 yards this week, last week, I would have won.
No.
But no.
No.
Another thing we can rag on the Chiefs. Maybe we'll do that on Wednesday. We'll rag on the absence of not even using Josh Gordon. You've seen Mike Williams do it this year to you. You've seen Jamar Chase do it to you. I don't even know how big Jamar Chase is. I'm gonna look that up.
He's not huge. I mean, you see Mike Evans do it. I mean,
you see all these dudes do it. Why can't you throw a deep ball to Josh Gordon? It's not like he's not a 4.7 runner. He's a 4.2, 4.3, or no, he's a 4.3, 4.4. I'm pretty sure coming out of college.
Yeah.
Granted, he is older, but how are we not at least giving him one shot?
I'm starting to think there may be something wrong with Josh Gordon. Like, is he lost his ability to catch? Did he cuss out Andy Reid? Did he threaten the league practice?
But that's the thing, you just cut him.
Something.
Like, why haven't we just got rid of him then?
I couldn't tell you.
Like, where else is he gonna go? That he's like, if he's looking like this for you guys, then where else is he gonna go?
I don't know.
And I don't know. Maybe the buddy system of Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey is just too big to warrant anybody else getting in there. But the thing is that's the biggest thing about Mahomes is he's going to have to learn that, hey, you're younger than both Hill and Kelsey. You're going to last longer if you want to in this league. You're going to have to find some, you're going to have to go from a Greg Jennings like Aaron Rodgers did to a Devontae Adams and then say that he's the best. Like, you can't, this isn't Tyreek Hill's not Jerry Rice. Tyreek Hill has 0 ounce of body fat. He's one wrong step, one wrong cut from his hammy, not exploding, but
knock on wood.
Hurting. He's going to be limping. Like, he's not going to be the same explosive that he was. Travis Kelce's year 10 in the league or 9 or 10? I mean, he's...
Was he 32 or 33 or something like that?
Yeah, he's got, it's going to soon be, do we do what we did to Tony Gonzalez that we do to Travis Kelce is we get rid of him before he can't do it anymore.
Right.
So there's a lot of questions to be made with the Chiefs. I think we're going to be okay this year. I think this is the year that it's going to be a weird way, but we're going to get back. We're going to play the Rams in the Super Bowl, and it's going to be the greatest show on turf part 2 because our defenses are going to show up. That's the biggest thing about the Rams is they love, I think the Rams might make it. It'll be one of the fluke stuff. I think Stafford's going to be okay. Or they might just start throwing Cup back there to throw passes or OBJ to throw passes to Cup. I don't know what they'll do. They'll start running some
OBJ's
tricky
gonna throw
shit.
past the Cup. That's how they're going to get it done.
But, that's the biggest thing is, when it comes playoff time is defenses are going to want to pressure Mahomes. Well, what's the best thing that Mahomes can beat? It's come pressure me. I dare you, and watch what I do with it, kind of thing.
Cook you.
Yeah, and that's basically what's going to happen once it comes to the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. I think we should just go ahead and get out of here. We've had an hour and hour and 9-minute live show for our first one. We had about 17 minutes of. We might have been our first and last live show, but besides that, I think it came off pretty good. Somebody said that it was, our words aren't lining up with our sound. We'll see how that goes. I'll check that out. It might just be one of those that we just have to go to. We were gonna have to buy a PC and get somebody in the studio, like I said, to run that bitch for us, and they'll grow as we grow and as we get sponsorships as we keep growing this. I really like the live side of it because we can come in here eventually when we get some people talking in chat. We can bullshit with them. We can have dead time. Like a podcast, it seems like you have to fill the air the whole time. You can't sit there and not talk because then it's like, oh, what are you doing? A live show, people can kind of see what we're doing. If we get better cameras and stuff, we can be like, I can be over here like, yeah, fuck you, like, fuck you, Connor. Like it would be so fun to do a live show and like just have a couch of just not toxic people, but just people that'll just chime in and say stupid shit while we're talking. like basically what Connor and Ty do. Like they just, no, fuck you, AJ, kind of like shit like that. Like, what are you doing here, kind of thing. That'd be fun as hell. And even like, and honestly, if we had that, I wouldn't even care if we grew into a huge show or podcast. I would love just to be able to hang out with the boys and just do that. Like, that would be so fun.
Just do that on a daily basis or however often we do it, just to talk shit about sports that we probably aren't qualified enough to talk about.
No.
But
we're just stooges. Like that's what.
But we're good about.
We're not
We're good with it.
We're just, what do we call idiots? We're just idiots, I guess. In the Midwest, that's what you call us. It's a bunch of idiots. But like, we're good with that. It'd be fun to just hang out. We're gonna have to find some like we can bring Colton Mahern because he's a Green Bay Packers fan. So like, he can be our tie kind of thing. Like we got to find some other people that like other teams. Is Potter like the Chiefs? I saw.
No, Potter is a gosh darn Cowboys fan.
Perfect. Oh, I'd love to get him in the studio because that'd be fun. I figured he was because I saw in the pick'ems he was the only one that picked the Bengals this week.
Oh yeah, he's not a Chiefs fan. He can't stand the Chiefs.
Perfect. Love that. We'll get him in the studio. He can be our. He can be our. He'll literally be our Zito because the Cowboys are about as good as the Bears. What? 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 Yeah.
What?
Bear down. Anyway, let's get out of here. I appreciate everybody that came in. Colton, thanks for letting us know that our
thanks, dude.
Our sound was absolute dog water. We'll get that fixed. Hey, we can only go up, baby.
I'll only go up. Only go up from here.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Yeah. See ya.